Back over here in the garage this morning, guys. I thought maybe I would try to get that curved piece made, that roll pan. So anyway, got this piece of metal cut. It should be about the right size. And I bet this piece of 1/8 inch round rod, this is my contour I need. Let me show you if I can. So anyway, what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to figure out a way to bend this into that contour, and then I'll split it. The other contour is pretty gentle. I think I can get that. Bending this is going to be a problem. It's too stiff to bend by hand. I really need like 2 pipes or something welded close together, you know, like a, I don't know, I could stick it in between them, you know, and just curve it. I'm trying to think what I could use here. I'll get you guys back in here in a minute. Yeah, I found a couple of pieces of pipe. If I was going to be going and buying stuff to do this, I think I would have. I got 2 pieces of 1 inch black. I'm just using what I had. I got a piece of 3/4 black, piece of 1/2 inch galvanized. I'm gonna put the bigger piece of pipe on the bottom. I'm gonna make like a roller that I can bend this on the floor with. Seeing as how the top piece will just be holding the top of the sheet metal, it'll actually be rolling against the bottom piece. A couple pieces of 1/8 inch plate here. I'm gonna weld the bottom one right on the corners of that and then grind the corners off so this will roll on the floor, and then put a couple handles on it. I don't know if this will work or not. In my head it will. I know if I try to bend that like over a hard edge, it's gonna leave lines in it. It's gonna get angular looking on me. And if I just try to bend it freehand over my knee or something, it's never gonna be right. So I gotta try to make something here. And if this tool works good, it'll be handy to have around. It's 34 inches long, so that would take care of probably just about all the stuff you would ever need to do. But let me try to weld this up and we'll see what happens here. This is what I ended up with. This corners are rounded off, so that'll roll on the floor. I ran out of gas with a MIG welder right as I was finishing up these welds on the plates here on the sides. I was gonna put some handles on it, but I'm gonna have to get a tank of gas probably today, because I am completely out. I got my guide bar here that I bent. I'm just gonna see if I can do this without any handles on it, just to see if it works and if it's worth even continuing on, you know. Let me set you back a bit. Look at that, that bend probably starts about right there. See if it'll bend here. It's really, really tough stuff. barely worked. It wasn't good. But I did get this bent around finally, and I don't know, that's what I ended up with. I don't know if you can. But if I hold it up there, it really ain't too bad. If I can get the, the other contour in it. I think if I keep messing with it for a while, I might be able to get this. That's how much it's holding out at the sides. I'm just gonna keep playing with it here for a while. I think that's what it's gonna be, just a matter of playing with it. I drew some lines on there where I think I need to split it to get it to fold or, contour. I'm gonna split it clear up to this line and just see if I can gently fold it around. The bottom curve ain't terrible. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. Without having any tools here to do that, I think I could probably work on it with a hammer a little bit after I got it completely formed, but it's really not that bad if I can just get it to fit the rest of the way, I'm gonna split this real quick and see what happens. I've got this split on my center two lines, haven't split the ends yet, just the center two. And I've got it clamped up here with a couple of clamps. This is the guide rod I had for the outer curve. And I had a couple marks on here. That's looking pretty good in the middle. I'm gonna push this up tight and put a couple tacks on these splits so that'll hold its form, and then see if I can get it to pull in on the ends. And then we get that exactly where we want it, we'll just get everything welded up, This has just been a couple seconds for you guys, but I've been to town and got a new tank of gas, so we're good to go there. So I'm gonna get started here and get a little further, I think. The first two tacked in place. I think my next step is I'm gonna go ahead and cut these two next ones and see how far this will pull in this way. if you guys can tell, I've got that contour looking pretty good. It's kind of hard to get a good visual on it. If you look down in there, what I am noticing, and this fits nicely up here, the roll on it looks pretty good. I'm going to have to make end pieces here though. I'm probably going to have to get that weld in place, beat those ends back in with a hammer, and then just cut 2 moon-shaped patches to go on the ends. But I'm thinking for now, I might go ahead and pull it off there and just weld these splits up. I'll be a little closer to having it fitted that way. Still working on this panel. I got called out on a job and had to go fix a leak, so I just got back. These 2 center splits here and here, I'm pretty sure those are where I want them. I just run a cutoff wheel through there and made me a gap. You know, the width of the wheel, what's that, 1/8 inch or whatever. I'm gonna start welding these 2 up, and when I get down to where I've got it spot welded, I'll continue on with my cuts and get these 2 done, because the ends are still gonna need a little bit more work. I might as well get the center secure so I know it's where it's gotta be. And then I can just go on from there. So I'm gonna start welding here. You don't wanna get anything too hot or it'll warp and buckle on you. So I'm skipping around. I'll do a little bit here and then a little bit there. Just try to keep it cool, you know. Hey guys, I got the 2 center splits welded up. It looks like I could go ahead and do the other 2 also. And then I ran into a deal on the sides. Over on the sides here, I had to also bend it this way. And then I had to split it so that that would pull in tight. But if you look here now, that all fits in there good. It does on the other side too. And then this bottom piece, I'm gonna have to put more splits in it, bend it the same way, and then push it in clear up to there, and then we should be good. I'm gonna have just a little filler patch to make right here on both ends, but that's okay. That'll be easy enough to do. But yeah, that's fitting in there pretty good. There's the other side where I've got it notched it, rolled around. Once again, that's fitting pretty good. The curves look nice. If that's all pushed in tight, it goes clear up to there. Got to make a patch for each end. Then we just got to do this piece, and I'm gonna, instead of terminating it here where they had this flange, I'm just gonna bring it, you know, straight across into it. So it won't look quite factory, but it'll be good. And if I can get that welded in there nice, heck, you never know it was ever there. This thing here didn't work all that great, but I think it did help me. I think it would have been worse without it. But if I was gonna, I think the concept on this is good. Instead of these smaller pipes, I think if a guy had a couple, like 1 inch or maybe even 1.25 inch pipes, the whole thing just needs to be heavier. And I got that 1/8 inch plate on the side. Probably wouldn't hurt for that to be 1/4. And then that whole top pipe, it could even have an angle iron welded across the top of it, just so it's rigid in the middle and can't move. And then if a guy had a couple levers on each end, a brace in the middle, I think that would probably work pretty good. And as it sets right now, I think that would work good for, like, say 20 gauge or something like that. That 18 gauge is just awful hard to bend. It takes pretty heavy equipment to do it. But I was just trying to use what I had laying around this morning and try to get it done. And I guess it sort of worked, but not very well. But I think the concept is good if a guy made a better one, you know. Anyway, guys, there's some of our rust we've been cutting out. I think that's gonna do it for me today. I'll try to get back over here maybe tomorrow afternoon. This will probably all show up in Saturday's video, I'm guessing. Anyway, catch you after a bit, guys. Well, I didn't want to cut that old one out of there until I was pretty confident that I was going to be able to make the new one work. Because then if I failed, I was just going to have a big hole in the back of my car. But I'm pretty confident now that it's going to go in there and be all right. I gotta weld all this up on the sides and over there on, finish that side, but we'll get it all to fit back into here as good as possible. And then whatever ain't quite right there, I can get the contour back right with a little bit of fiberglass, I think. But problem I'm running into right now, You guys might have just watched me bend this on the floor. That is all the metal I've got left, and I'm out. I was making that piece. To fit in here. I really want it to go the whole length. Otherwise, I'm going to have two large patches to put on both ends. Now, I was going to have small rolled patches here on the end anyway, but I was going to try to keep them small. But with this being the only piece of metal I've got, if I use it, I'm going to have two rather large patches to do there. But if I want to put the roll pan on, I need something down here to attach it to. So I'm thinking about going ahead and just putting that down there so I can get that on. Then I've just got the two ends to deal with, unless I go to town somewhere and pick up another bigger piece of metal. And that pipe bender worked a lot better on that shorter piece because I wasn't doing so much surface area this time. Yeah, I don't know what to do here. Would have been nice if that would have been 10 inches longer, you know. But anyway, I'm gonna grind off these edges where my contour's at and just test fit this once and see what it looks like. And I'll figure it out from there. Figure out what I want to do. I've got this area right here, it's holding me out. I can't get my piece of metal in all the way. Over on this side, it's rusted off more, so there it's fitting pretty nice. We're just going to kind of clean this up and just take out a lot of this right here. There'll be more of it coming out later, but and get this cleaned up so my pieces will start fitting a little better, tighter in. There's a new roll panel in place. It fits in there pretty good. I'll show you the other side. I've got the main section of the trunk floor pretty well fitted. I'm not going to put it in yet. I still got to do the POR 15 and stuff and get the bead rolls in it. I'm going to put a roll here and here, match up with those other two rolls back there on the original floor pan. Here and here, and then here and here. Coming all the way back. Well, not all the way back, but you know, up to the edge, about an inch or so. If I had a bigger piece of metal, the only thing I'd have to patch is right there in the corner. Right there. And right there. So I really want to get a piece of metal that comes clear to the end. So I think tomorrow morning or maybe later tonight, I'm going to see if I can track down. I just need like 12-inch by 3-foot piece that I can work with. I hate to use that because I'm afraid it's going to just cause me more work. I can kind of use it for a template to get my bigger one cut. I can just take some paper or cardboard and tape to the ends. Make a nice template with that. I got the bend good and all of that. And then we'll just cut this whole thing out right here where I've made these, lines. I don't know. Guess you guys can kind of see. Get that all in one piece, and then we'll be ready to really button this thing up, you know. But I think what I want to do is track down another piece of metal, get it all fitted, finish fitting this. It's really close. Bead roll, finish fitting that, and then I got all three of them big pieces. Take them back off, clean everything. POR 15 right up, except for right where I'm going to be welding. Weld them in permanently, get underneath, finish with the undercoating. But I don't know, it's looking like a trunk floor again, you know. Pretty happy with all of that. Roll pan actually turned out pretty nice. I was real hesitant cutting the old one off. I didn't want to cut it off until I knew I was going to be able to make the other one work, you know. but after I got enough done on it that I could see that it was going to be okay, and I went ahead and took that off. I ended up, I had real good metal right here, so I feel real good about that. I got that all cleaned up already with a flapper wheel, and it looks great. No pinholes in it. Some of this other stuff, I got to go around and shine a light back there and weld up the pinholes, but really, in the end, the whole thing's going to get a coat of Duraglass over these welds anyway. And then, like I said, I think in the last video, back right in there along the inner fender wells, I'm just going to fiberglass that with some matting, because it would be best to fix that from the other side, and I'm just not going to do that right now. But that fiberglass will stay in there forever, so you could look at that as a permanent repair or a temporary repair. Really, either way, it's good with me. And then, you know, the same like right there. But anyway, guys, I gotta go find some metal. Saturday morning, back out in the garage. I can't get any more sheet metal till at least Monday. So I'm gonna wait on that last patch. I got some other stuff we can do here. Colton's gonna come out here in a bit. We're gonna try to get the beads rolled in the big panel, you know. I've started off this morning. I've taken those two brackets that were on top of the frame that go up to the trunk floor. Look like this. Had a piece of rubber underneath of them. I was going to clean these up, coat the frame, get them back down with some new bolts. As I look at them, they're pretty crusty and rusty, yeah, holes in them and stuff. All they really are is 1/8" plate. Well, I got 1/8" plate. I'm just going to get that in a vise, bend some new ones up, drill a couple new holes in them, find some new rubber, approximately as thick as that, and get these back on. As I say, we're going to get this big panel bead rolled. I'll get my other piece of metal probably Monday. Get that last big piece made. There'll be some small pieces after that, but we'll have something solid in there we can work off of after we get these big pieces in, and we can add the smaller ones. But I guess after I get this bead rolled, what I'm going to do, and I won't show it in a video, but I got to finish cleaning all this, wire wheeling it, and then we'll get it coated. But boy, that's a dirty job. It's hard to get yourself to do it, you know. Anyway, we'll get back in here in a minute and we'll bead roll this and set it back in here so you guys can see what it looks like, and probably end the video for today. Got that frame rail and cross member coated all inside of them too. Just wanting to get that much done to where I can drop my big panel in. Some of that would be kind of hard to get to then. So we're gonna let that dry up. Looks good. Be nice, you know, get the whole underneath of the car cleaned up and like that. Boy, it's a massive job though. And then, got the dogs upset. We got this bead rolled. Got real crooked on that last one. But I'm gonna use it anyway. I'm not gonna make a new piece. It's trunk floor after all. I mean, who cares? But yeah, I wasn't paying attention. Got a heck of a curve in that one. But anyway, good enough. Be strong anyway. Well guys, this is Saturday and I've been out here off and on all week. I don't have any more sheet metal. Not real ambitious out here, I guess, today. So I think I'm gonna head home for today. Let that dry up. Get some more metal here sometime next week, and maybe we can start getting this back together. It's nice to have this this roll pan piece done. It turned out pretty good. I was hoping it would turn out that good, but I didn't know what to expect, really, you know. But anyway, guys, I think that's gonna do it for me today. And please like, share, comment, all them things. I guess the likes and comments and stuff are really supposed to help the algorithms or whatever. But anyway, we'll catch you on the next one. Later, guys. Jeremy.